Hey there! Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. Driving again to work. And by the way, I don't have my website up anymore. I didn't have the funds for it. So I really don't even know how people could send me money if you wanted to send me money for my channel right now. Maybe if I get to over 1,000 people subscribers, then I can. But anyway, this is probably one of the craziest videos I've posted, and I will say at the beginning, this is for entertainment purposes only. So take this all with a grain of salt, just a theory. And I'm going to talk to you about the drones again, because everybody is, and it's on everybody's mind. And I did a deep analysis of the situation, and I'm going to give you another take on it that you're not hearing from anywhere else. If you watch any of my videos, if you watch my last video, I talked about how it could be a lost nuclear weapon or some kind of nuclear weapon. Maybe the government's held under a hostage. That's why these drones are sniffing around. That was my last video. This one's completely different. And if you watch my channel, I look at everything from different angles. I just do different scenarios for different things, try to feel out what's going on. And that's what this channel's about. I look at everything from different angles and try to figure things out. So I'm going to look at this drone stuff from a different angle, okay? I saw one thing out there that said that maybe it was an alien invasion. So we're going to talk about that for a minute. Also, there are 4 different scenarios that I came up with that are applicable to the drone situation. One, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, is Operation Bluebeam. If you don't know what that is, look that up. Something that's been touted before and said that it's a fake alien invasion to roll in the New World Order. Some people say, hey, maybe it's to stop Trump from getting in office, all that. So certainly that could be one of those quote-unquote scenarios, okay? Another one is that the drones are our drones and we're looking for nuclear material, and that's the case. And then they came out with something saying that there was a lost piece of nuclear equipment, and it had nuclear material in it. But just to tell you, the nuclear material was the size of a pen. Like, it couldn't do anything. So I think that was a smokescreen, or maybe that did happen just coincidentally in New Jersey, but I don't think that's what's going on. So the other thing was maybe there's somebody from Ukraine. Okay, let's go to the alien invasion scenario. I saw something on the web that said that they put in an advanced AI computer all the drone sightings, and they said it's indicative of imminent alien invasion. So it sounds sci-fi, sounds crazy. So I did the same thing. I went to an advanced AI system that's free, one of those chat ones, and I just took in all the sightings and I copied and pasted into it, and then said, a couple of parameters. I said, aliens are real, let's say that, and let's say that they can traverse long distances. If Congress went up, the guys went in front of Congress, they said it's doing 3,000 plus G's of force, these alien ships seem to do, and it calculated out to the nearest star, it'd be just over 3 weeks to get there with that kind of technology. So if we look at all that information and you plug it in a computer, it spits out that the alien agenda would be to actually send drones. Now, they would send drones, here's the crazy part, that would look like our drones. So they would put FAA lights on them. they would do that to be, because they're going to be looked at anyway, they would put that on as a smokescreen so that you would question the government, so that you would say, hey, that's not an alien drone, that's our government's drone. So it causes division. It's exactly, and in fact, if you put in all these drone sightings and everything and what's going on in the last 40 years, and you look at this, exactly what an alien invasion would look like. It's not even close. It's the exact scenario. In fact, the way I quote unquote gamed it, I put all the scenarios into the computer and looked at it. It looks to be that the aliens would have some kind of orbs that would go, some kind of plasmids. That would be one of those other things to do. There's a quote unquote shock and awe. So there's a shock and awe aspect of it that they would do that as well. So the drones would go for certain sites, which they have. So they would go to NORAD, which they have. They would spend an amount of time over certain sites mapping it out. Now you might say, if they're really advanced, Victor, if they're really advanced, then they would surreptitiously be able to do their drone surveillance. Well, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe they're planning on a ground offensive as well, and they really want good intel, so they would send these drones down. They actually would. So they would have these kind of drones. They would have drones size of a car. They would look like FAA lights on them, and then they've been at, they said Patterson Air Force Base, all these different Air Force bases. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. And they're going all around the world. So they would do that. And that would be the first thing, okay? They've done other things before that, let's say. But that would be the first thing. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. So what else would they do? That would be the precursor for phase number 2. Phase number 2, if this all scenario, entertainment purposes, again, is happening, that would be orbital bombardment would be next, okay? They would target military infrastructures, power centers, lines of communication. Those things would be the next thing to be attacked. Now, in a scenario where there is Operation Bluebeam, where let's say some deep state government is trying to make us think that there's an alien invasion, it would be exactly the way it is as well. So I just want you to be aware that the two top scenarios both have orbital bombardment on the agenda. So that would be the next phase. There wouldn't be a nuclear weapon situation. There'd be an orbital bombardment situation. What does that mean? So they have, if it's in fact, they could take these, I believe it's radium bars, they put it up in the, an orbit, and the kinetic energy is, when it's released, is just enough to be like a nuclear weapon, okay? You don't even need nukes. They would just drop it and they could aim it, and it would just, like, from space, and the kinetic energy could take out almost anything. So, unfortunately, according to when I gamed it, that the next phase would be orbital bombardment. What would curtail, what would be the next phase after? Okay, so interesting. So what would happen is you would get all these drone sightings everywhere, all over the world, and then you'd have orbital bombardment. After that, you would have the land invasion, ground forces, shock and awe. They would put things up in the sky to make you question your sanity, to make you, they would take over all communications channels and scare you. So that's the third phase, would be the ground invasion. What else would happen? Well, eventually they might take over. They would try to, and they would do some type of, probably a neural implant or some mind control with the people that are on the ground, that are civilians, that are left over, to use them as slaves for our resources. So that's what the name of the game is, our resources. So land, air, sea, all these rich resources that are on the earth, that would be the goal. And eventually perhaps terraforming the planet to their climate. So that would be the whole situation. And we are in the initial phase. According to my advanced AI computer, when I ran through the scenarios, it said 12 to 18 months. I moved the timetables around a little bit, looking at again for orbital bombardment commencement. And it looks like it's pretty imminent, actually. It could be now to 12 months. So what they're saying is they probably would not target civilian populations, but you don't know. They would target military, like I said, communications and power infrastructures to start with. And again, if this is not an alien invasion, then it would be some kind of deep state government pretending to do an alien invasion, but the scenarios are the same. The actual outcomes are the same. So I just wanted to share this video about this, because there really isn't too many other scenarios that this all plays out the way that the drones have been acting. And they would go to Bedminster. New Jersey is a crucial center between New York and Pennsylvania. That is a very much important, a strategic place to have drones come to actually figure out what's going on. So all this is playing out exactly the way it looks for an invasion. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. For entertainment purposes, like, subscribe, share. Thanks. Bye-bye.